Hi everybody, I'm here with my friend Justen. We're going to go through his Karador EDH deck. Junk colored, it's pretty cool. It was kind of my choice to do this week. I gave him the choice to pick any deck he wanted, but I really wanted to see this one, and I think he's kind of just indulging me and going through it. But the commander's pretty cool. Everybody knows what he does. Take it away, Justen.
All right, well, first off here we got your basic lands.
Basic lands.
Got a couple of plains in here.
2.
3 swamps.
3.
Not a whole lot, you know. And 3 forests.
3.
I run a few basic lands there, basically, because I do have some land fetch in here, as well as, you know, if anybody decides to path my stuff, hey, I got something I can fetch for. There's also a lot of people that run those things where you can search for basic lands and stuff like that with the X spells, so figure why not put some basics in here.
Here's a fun note. He has only 31 lands. 31 lands. Okay. Now the deck, whenever he plays it kicks off just fine. He never has problem with lands or mana screwed or anything like that. I have like real moral problems going below 38 lands, and he's running 31. I was like, what?
Well, when you see the creatures that are in here, a lot of them are lower cost and
Triad
stuff.
Arbor works with the general.
Yeah, with the general, and my general never costs me over 3 mana to cast usually.
Yeah, usually.
I dredge enough in this deck and have enough things going to my graveyard, and you'll see kind of how I keep it filled up. And I don't play from the deck; I play from the graveyard more than I do anything else. So
still, it just 31 lands. That's anyways.
Got my free creature in the Dryad Arbor. Nice little mana dork, basically. Free Lornor Elf. Reflecting Pool. In 3 colors, be able to get whatever I need for my general works great. Especially with, yes, exactly, the command tower. I mean,
Tower of Commanding.
what do you need?
That's where the general sits.
One of the newer additions, just because they finally got a hold of something like that.
I like those.
That's for my junk color. I mean, yeah, it comes into play tap, but
You got that from me, didn't you?
yes, I did.
I was gonna say you got
One
that.
turn is usually fine.
It was my only one.
One of the lands I'd like to replace eventually is I don't like the idea of having to pay for my land, but
Hey, you know, if you don't have like the finances to invest in like super expensive like the Zerd deck mana base, then hey, that's a perfectly fine substitute.
yeah. After that, I got my 3 cycle for one of the colored lands.
Do you use the 2 colorless cycling lands?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I use these ones just because it's cheap. I mean, a lot of times I just want them to dredge, so throw more things in there. And then I got the whole Vivid cycle of the 3 I can run. Marsh Creek, or Marsh Grove and Meadow.
Mana fixers?
Exactly. And then I know you don't really care for these, I think, if I remember right.
I don't.
The Scry lands. I got all 3 of the temples in my colors.
It's just personal preference. I don't really care for them.
Well, I like it because a lot of times, like I said, I'm dredging a lot.
Yeah.
And so
Free Scry.
free Scry, see if it's something I really want to throw in there, if it's something I actually want to draw next turn.
Yeah, EDH, I mean, coming into play tapped, a lot of times is very inconsequential.
Yeah, you see a lot of my mana base is that tap thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just decided to do it. Then again, the 3 cycle of bounce lands, all of them from the Ravnica set originally. Got those in there. Nice to bounce back those temples. Get my Scry again. Or
they also help smooth out your land drops. If you miss one on a draw, it's like you bounce one, so you're not missing one, and you play it.
And I'll actually play those turn 2, even if I don't have anything played out of my hand, and throw a dredge card in my graveyard. Yeah. It doesn't bother me.
That's I don't know what to say. It's just good. It's good.
My temple. Most everybody runs those anymore now that they're easy to get from the commander decks.
Perfect.
I mean, 2 colorless, usually get the 5 mana long enough. Homeward Path. I get tired of people stealing my crap because I like to steal people's crap.
I put that in Nekusar. I believe Nekusar. One of the 2. Either that one or the Borborgmos deck I made.
I just know people like to have stealing things, especially when they can get better
I have
stuff.
Blightsteel and Nekusar, so it's like, just in case, I better put that in.
I don't have anything that people really going to steal in this deck, but it's just one of those things that's also political. If someone decides to swing with something at me that's not theirs.
And if your deck, I mean, I've made a deck or 2 here and there that's a lot of like theft based. Mm-hmm. It's hard to fight through. It's like, damn, that fucking land shut me down.
One of the cards that I want to get a black border on, but probably not going to afford it every time soon, is my Strip Mine.
We'll take white border for now.
I have a pet peeve with white borders, and it's.
I think you and every other Magic player alive has a pet peeve with white border. I'll spray paint it for you.
I'll pass on that off. Then I got my Vesuva and my Thespian Stage.
Good card.
Both, if someone else has something else out there that's better, why not get another free land?
Yeah.
I usually use it if someone has a 2 for, even if it's off colors. That's 2 colorless mana instead of the 1 that you can get out of it. So
I mean, even still, a lot of times, at least I see a lot when I go to Ames and other places, that a lot of people run Cabal Coffers and Urborgs and shit like that.
I have no problem copying that.
And they copy mine. Like, I'm the one who's left out. They copy my stuff.
Then Grim Backwoods, not the greatest land, but to sack a creature, to draw a card.
Sack outlet.
In my 3 colors and junk colors, you don't have a whole lot of options. I mean, you have to harmonize, but I don't like one-shot cards. I prefer reusable resources most of the time.
What's your thoughts on Mirren the Moaning Well?
I used to run it in one of my other decks. I like it, except for it just costs a little bit too much for the effect, I think. For 3 mana, sack a creature. In this deck, it just doesn't quite fit. I mean, yeah, this one's 4, but I'm getting a card out of the deal instead of life. To me, I got ways of preventing the life and stuff like that in here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's my 31 lands that Darren's so impressed about.
31 freaking lands.
I'll put Karador here just so you can see him again here.
Yeah.
He's a badass.
He's cool. I was a little bummed out because when you made it, I was like, dude, why didn't I think about making a Karador deck? Because it looks fun.
Well, it works. I mean, it's just one of those ones you kind of have to learn how to play.
You got to know how to play it.
And you got to know what that person has in it because there's different ways of playing Karador. You'll see mine's not the normal one. Usually people have it, feed the graveyard, then they use reanimate, breath of life, and all the reanimation spells just to get their big guys out faster. I play him in a completely different theme from that. I would do more of the try to get all the little stuff I can out there as fast as I can to kind of annoy you.
Gotcha. A little more aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit more of a pain in the ass to deal with. Next, I'm gonna do this by CMC on these cards. I have 2 removal spells here.
Swords of Plowshares and Path to Exile.
If you're running white, they're pretty much staples in those colors. In that color, I mean, what can I say? You remove an exile creature. Exiling is so important in EDH compared to it's just destroying.
You almost can't get around that, except for your general. I mean, you can't get around it.
And well, there's 2 cards that can do it. I actually run both of them in this deck.
Really?
One of them is Pull from Eternity.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Those are the exile card into my graveyard.
Interesting choice. Yeah.
Well, if it's a creature, I'm casting with Karador.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't really fear the exile unless, notice I didn't have Bojuka Bog in my land base. I don't want someone copying it. Plain and simple. It kills my game. Elixir of Immortality, I try not to use it too much, but it's there for safety's sake.
Last ditch effort.
Yep, if I'm running to mill myself, I got to do something to save myself instead of dying, so that's the main thing I worry about more than anything is the mill.
I wonder what it tastes like. What flavor is it?
Cola.
I was thinking Mr. Pibb, so that's close. Or Diet Dr. Thunder, something.
Maybe the off-brand, yeah.
Yeah.
Here you're going to run into my annoyance cards. Spore Frog and the Kami of False Hope.
Goddamn Kami. I think that thing has got me more times than any.
Both of them are Fog on a Stick.
Yep. And they come back.
And they come back for 1 mana. And so, hey, why not bring them back?
It's ridiculous.
I'll probably catch some flack for this one.
I like it.
In EDH, I sat there and thought about it for a while. It's uncounterable.
Yeah.
So, it's great. The only thing I have a problem with it is it's 3 or less.
Yeah. It is restrictive.
You start thinking about it. Sensei's Top. Jete. A bunch of generals are under 3 mana cost as well. They're quicker
There's
ones.
a lot of stuff, a lot of good equipment.
Yeah, so I figured why not. It's 1 slot. It's quick and easy removal. It works.
Yeah.
Grizzly Salvage. Instant speed.
Perfect.
Put 5 things.
What more do you want?
Exactly.
That's pretty much everything you want this deck to do.
I'll fill my graveyard. I have no problem with it. Another thing of removal, I like it.
That is a very interesting choice.
Absent.
It basically tucks something.
And usually it's general. If I can buy myself a few turns, say someone's playing Karavik out there, or they have just an annoying Animar.
Perforos, Bryce, Animar, Matt.
It just takes another element for a few
Rurik
turns.
Thar, Jerry. I don't know, pick one.
Yeah.
And it's instant speed.
Yep. And
that's huge.
And even if I want just 2 white, round top of the library, hey, gets rid of it for a return.
Yep.
One of the best dredge cards I think there is for EDH.
Oh yeah.
Especially in this build of here. Getting 3 lands back from my graveyard to my hand.
Once you get that going, that's your engine.
Exactly. I don't draw my lands. I don't play from the deck with this.
Yeah.
My deck is my graveyard.
Any Magic player would tell you once you get that going, it's just you can't stop it unless you get rid of it permanently.
Zombie Infestation.
I like it. I run it in Nekusar.
Well, here again, I don't care what's in my hand. I'll throw it in the graveyard. I'll play it later on with
Yeah.
Karador.
Get a token. Get the damn thing back with Karador.
Exactly. There's, to me, no downside to this card.
Yeah.
Other decks, mileage will vary.
Yeah.
The Lightning Greaves.
Staple.
They're in here to protect Karador because I don't swing with him. He's more of just a figurehead for the deck.
Yeah.
I mean, I have other creatures in here. I'll move them around. You'll see later on, I believe, that there's other targets that are worth it. But for the most part, they stick on Karador.
Rift Sweeper.
Yes. That is the other one that brings it back from the exile, but puts it in my library instead.
Here's something to note, folks. He also got this from me. Just saying.
The one misconception I have had people tell me is I can tuck their generals. No, you cannot with this card because the general is in a command zone.
Yeah.
So let's just get that out there. It's not as powerful.
That's a zone.
Yeah, everyone thinks that you can do generals. No, you can't. They've changed the rules to where now the command zone exists.
They used to let you do that, though.
Yes.
And that's why I picked it up. It's because I saw an old video and thought that was cool as hell, and then realized, oh my god, it doesn't work. Traded it to you.
All right, after that, we got the White of Precinct 6. Now, why is he in here? Well, 1/1 for 2. Yeah, it gets bigger when your opponent's graveyard. The reason in here is his power and toughness isn't the star.
Yeah.
That's very important in this deck. I run Revelar to get my things back. So he looks at their power.
Oh,
as it
yeah,
is.
because if it's star, it's a static thing, and it'll
it's-
be big, yeah.
And it's too big for him to grab back. So I had to look for things that were 1/1s, 0/0s, and such.
And surprisingly enough, for just being a fairly vanilla creature, he has no spectacular abilities. He doesn't get removed that often.
No, because people don't think about it.
Yeah, they let it be because it's a vanilla creature, but then after it's like a 10-10, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, you start asking, how many creatures? Oh, he's a 12/12. I'm swinging.
It's like, oh damn.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize he was there.
Yeah, people leave it be. It's like, oh, it's just a stupid, vanilla creature. Oh god. Yeah. It's killing me.
Next to that, we got the High Priest of Penance here.
That's a good card. Just
basically
straight good card.
Vindicate, you hit him, you come at me, I'm going to destroy something of yours, and I guarantee you're not going to have a good time.
Oh wait. Then we'll play him again.
Exactly. I can make you have a bad time.
That's pure jank right there.
The whole deck is. Everyone's favorite.
Who doesn't like a good sake every once in a while?
Basically, get your land. And guess what? Hey, guess what? It comes back again. Karador says hi.
And it's a snake.
Well, yeah.
It looks like a Ninja Turtle to me. I always thought that.
It's a little creepy with the 4 arms holding onto 2 staffs.
It looks like a Ninja Turtle. It's like, doesn't look like a snake. It looks like a Ninja Turtle.
Here's a card that I use more for trickery than anything.
Yeah. It catches people off guard.
Well, no, you stack it. You stack its ETB effect with its leave play effect with a sack outlet.
Oh, that's
that card's
gone
permanently
permanently.
exiled.
Yep. Gotcha.
Easy way of dealing with something if you know someone has in their hand.
Yeah.
Again, jank.
Stacks.
Kasali Pride Mage.
Uh-huh.
Straighten him out here a little bit. 2/2 Exalted for green and a white. And then pay colorless, sack him, destroy an artifact or enchantment.
He's
Basically,
one of my favorite cards for these colors and for what he does. And whenever I have this kind of color scheme, I always fight to put him in there, and he just, I don't know, I always fight against him, like things like Corrosive Grip, just win me over.
Well,
he's good though.
Well, see, and I run 43 creatures in this deck.
Uh-huh.
It's all because I can get them back with Karador.
Yeah.
For me, this is my spot removal for enchantments and artifacts.
Oh yeah.
3 mana, it's done.
Yep. Also, the color of mana is also something to take note of, and the Exalted, because that's easy for you to do, or easier, versus, what's that, Viridian Elf Warrior from Darksteel, I think. It's the same thing, pretty much. But it's got 2 green in the cost versus a green and a white.
Yep.
So that'd be a little more mana intensive versus this.
Yep, it's just a little easier to line
And
up.
it doesn't have Exalted.
Yep. And then, Fauna Shaman.
Do you run, okay, I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, do you run Gerard's Orders?
Yes.
Love it. You know what I search for every time? Search for this in my hand, Grave Troll, Golgari Grave Troll, Graveyard.
Pretty much.
Engine Online.
There you go. Turn 4, if you get that going, you're set for the rest of the game
Yeah,
to get
you're
your
set.
graveyard.
Get whatever you want.
Also great, if someone tucks my Karador,
Search them out.
exactly, I pitch something else, hey, guess who's coming back, guys?
Get a lot of toolbox cards, toolbox away.
Exactly. This guy here is a recent addition.
That's interesting.
Ace of the Gods. Main reason he's in here is because I don't have a Leyline of Sanctity, I believe it is, the one that gives you hexproof.
I think so.
Right now, he's just kind of a placeholder for it. I mean, it's 2-1 body, not that great, but it gives me hexproof, gives me protection from being Bajuka bugged. I can't be hit with, the random
That
triggers.
Bajuka Bog's bad for you.
Exactly.
That's actually a good thought.
That is the
Good
card
thought
I
process.
fear in this deck.
I like it. Good idea.
It takes me too long to rebuild afterwards. I've tried.
Surprisingly, a lot of cards will say remove target player's library from the game, graveyard.
Yep.
So that's a good thought. Good idea.
Unmake.
Spot removal.
Exactly.
It's excellent.
Putrefy. Again, spot removal.
Versatile.
His brother, Mortify.
Mortify. Spot removal. Versatile.
You notice I don't run a lot of board wipes in here.
Yeah.
I have one. I prefer to keep things out there because with my 2 earlier cards you saw, the Kami and the Spore Frog, it's going to be hard enough getting it at me if I'm able to keep them going.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't care about the board presence. Usually people just go
I know about that firsthand. It sucks.
People just go elsewhere.
Yeah.
This is a new card here I just thought of. Realms Uncharted. Search your library for 4 land cards with different names and reveal them. Opponent chooses 2 of them, put the chosen cards in my graveyard and the rest in my hand. Then shuffle my library.
What more do you want?
Mana fixing,
Yeah.
and those 2 lands you threw away, more than likely I'm going to get back with Life of the Loam.
Life from the Loam.
So, there's no downside to it for me. And Oblation.
It's a tuck effect.
Tuck, they get to draw 2 cards, but you know what? Animar's gone.
And the thing that's awesome with it, permanent, planeswalker, artifact, enchantment, creature, general, whatever.
But we all know it's always generals.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a general, but I mean...
You have no need for anything else.
It's versatile, and that's why I pick it for a lot of my decks if I have white, because it's permanent, not artifact, enchantment, not creature.
Well, anything, you want
anything.
You want the biggest, widest range of targets you can get on a card.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that gives it to you for a very minor
3
drawback.
mana. And you get 2 cards, whatever. If you can get me with those 2 cards, then I screwed up.
There's been like 1 or 2 times when I've tucked somebody's general and they've drawn it off that stupid thing. It's like, god dang it.
But then, again, the chance is minimal, and it usually puts it in a big enough king to have to cast it again.
Hey, if you shuffle it in there and I did what I could to get rid of it and you get it again, okay, fine. I guess I gotta let you have it. You earned it.
This one here is kind of fun to play around with. Council of Judgment. It's one of the ones from Conspiracy where everyone votes.
That's such a pain in the ass.
Well, what it is if someone's tied...
Voting always gets me.
Well, if things are tied...
I get screwed on votes. I always get screwed on votes.
Well, see, I've never gotten it to hit more than 1 thing, which is kind of annoys me because I usually get it set up to where you have 2 or 3
Ideally,
exiles,
yeah.
and then someone throws a kink in it and screws it for everybody because they didn't want to lose 1 thing,
Yeah.
even though it would have put them in position as well. Pernicious Deeds.
Good card. What can be said about the deeds that hasn't already been said?
You just dump your man and don't care.
It's fantastic.
Burnished Heart. Now, not as good as Secure Tribe Elder, of course. I mean, you got to pay 3 and sack it, but you're getting 2 of them. So, I mean,
This was probably one of my few, besides my beloved Prophet of Crufix. I'll talk all day about that. How it should be a $10 card. But anyways.
From the Nick set that actually was worth something to you?
Yes. This is probably one of my other favorite cards. Few of the cards I actually like from this whole damn block. This was one of them, because it can go in any deck. It can go in a Grixis deck, it can go in Junk, it can go in mono red. I mean, it can go in anything.
That's about the only thing that has going for it is the colorless.
It's an artifact. Yeah, it's colorless. That's huge.
It gives everybody else in green.
Mono black, mono white, whatever mono you want.
Mono green, not that big a deal.
Mono green, there's probably better options, but...
But again, like I said, I want to get my mana base going, and yes, like I said, run 31.
Search for 2 different lands.
So, this is an idea I got from you.
Oh yeah, love Stonecloaker.
Someone's annoying me with their graveyard turn push shenanigans. Blink him in and out, exile him what they're wanting to get rid of.
And if somebody's about to board wipe your shit, you can last ditch effort
save something else.
Oh yeah, rescue something that's much more imperative than Stonecloaker.
But to me, that doesn't matter.
You want stuff to go to the graveyard. Now exile,
that's the pain.
Yeah.
That's why
I love Stonecloaker. It's awesome.
Another one that's kind of weird in this deck.
That is weird.
2/2 trample, but if it connects, put a copy on the play.
Yeah, all it takes is one person to drop their defensive for 1 turn, And everybody's got a problem.
That happened one game. A guy could not get off of 2 mana, could not get a creature.
That sucks. It's just bad luck.
I ended up with about 10 to 12 spawn rights out there. Yeah, they're 2/2s, but eventually they started annoying the crap out of you.
Yeah, it's like somebody's got the board wipe for this one
Someone
card.
had to board wipe to get rid of spawn right, and then next turn it's brought back.
Yeah, this one card. That's all the tokens, yeah, but that's one card that made all that problem.
Yeah, so hey, might as well.
That creature is a lot like Predator Ooze is to me. It's like as soon as I see it play, I'm like, guys, we have to get rid of this. This is a problem.
You got to deal with things.
And everybody's like, oh, well, it's not bothering me. And then after it becomes a 10/10 and they found something to give it trample.
Why is no one dealing with it?
Yeah, it's like, well, now it's killing us, guys. I called this when they played it, turn 3. Anyway.
All right, next card is the Tilling Tree Folk. Very similar to Life of the Loam.
That is cool. That is interesting.
Very similar to it, especially with Karador. Comes to play 2 lands instead of 3 from my graveyard to my hand.
That is actually a really good idea. I like that.
So I can actually thank Bryce for that one.
That's a good idea. Way to go, Bryce.
After that, Fleshbag Marauder.
Fleshbag.
Usually, you're just going to bring it in, kill off itself, and take out a bunch of buddies with him.
Recur with Karador.
Excuse me there. E-Witness. Green staple.
Yeah, staple.
If I can't get back, anything that's been milled creature, enchantments, artifacts wise, she's there to back me up. And guess what?
Do you find there's something that you get back in specific in games a lot of that?
Usually it's self-mill cards.
Gotcha.
Any way I can get that graveyard in my toolbox filled up better and faster, it's better.
All right.
Yavimaya Elder.
Old Man of the Mountain.
Guess I draw a card, which is usually, again, used for dredge most of the time in this deck.
Yep.
Might as well. And land fetch.
Fetch 2 lands. Play it again with Karador.
I probably could bump up my basic land count in here, but I just don't know why I would want to.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
Now, I am a hater of slivers.
I know.
They are magic on training wheels.
I know.
I'm sorry if anybody watches this as a sliver user. But
I have a sliver deck.
Training wheels.
I'm guilty.
Training wheels. But I do run 2 in this deck.
You got to. It's too good. It's sliver.
4 shards for slivers.
Yeah, it's good.
Why? I mean, come on. 3 mana, I can bring them back.
So, doesn't Karador make things cheaper?
No, he makes himself cheaper.
Yeah, he makes himself cheaper.
For the one in my graveyard, hence the high creature count. And the other sliver I run is Necrotic, which is Vindicate.
It is. It's a Vindicate.
The 2 of them together, that's 4 things that have blown up.
Oh, yeah.
So, 3 or 4, depending on the order they come into play.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I gotta run it.
And Necrotic Slivers fits this deck perfectly because you're getting rid of something, play it back, kill something else, get it back.
Card that a lot of people don't know on this one.
I like it. Madness. That becomes more relevant than people think of.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing that people don't pay attention to is just, a lot of people didn't know this card existed.
Oh, yeah.
At first when I played it.
Yeah. He's good.
3 mana, I get to kill a big creature. Well, a lot of times, you have huge generals.
It's EDH, it's Commander. I mean, that's the name of the game is big stuff. Eventually, you're going to have big stuff.
So far, no. No, I don't.
Well, okay, this is an exception, but...
This is the annoying deck.
Chances are, if something's causing a problem,
I'm there to back it up and take care of it.
You can get rid of it.
Another removal, Fiend Hunter.
Stacks.
Stacks again, if I need to.
Boom, gone.
Yep, you're getting it.
I get it.
Stinky.
Stanky.
Been one of my favorite cards since it's been printed in Ravnica.
Oh, yeah.
Just dredging, plus 1/2 flyer with pseudo death touch.
That's a huge nuclear deterrent. It is.
Yeah,
Death touch.
You get enough people scared away from it.
Yeah.
They don't want to mess with it.
Because they know if you're running it, you either A, want him to die because he's got dredge, or B, I mean, you're going to dump him anyway.
And with my general out there, they know I'm going to get him back next turn.
Yeah, so they avoid you for multiple reasons.
Like, this is actually kind of a political deck the more I start talking about it here.
It's fun.
Corrosion Restorer. Tapper, untap target land. Or if I have Threshold, which more than likely I'm going to have 7 cards in my graveyard.
You're going to have Threshold.
Get 3 lands back.
That's
untapped.
awesome. That's huge. Untap 3 lands.
That can be up to 6 mana in this deck.
Now, is there something that you find that you use in specific with the untap, or just anything in general?
Basically anything I can get. Usually I like to use my bounce lands that give me 2 for 1.
Gotcha.
But if I have to, like
More often than not, you're just going for the threshold.
Yep.
Going for gold.
Yep.
Okay.
Why not?
Utter end.
Utter end.
I needed one of those.
Exile
not too long
turn,
ago.
non-playing permanent.
I needed one, and I usually go to Nick for it, but he said he didn't have one, so I kind of gave up on it, and here you have one.
That's the one I got. I got it for this deck.
Jeez. And I was going to use it in a Zergo deck.
Poor Zergo.
Yeah, poor Zergo. He got the axe.
Exile a permanent. Again, I don't really care to destroy it. I want to exile it because
That hurts so much more.
you never have to see it again. Because, yeah, you don't have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Turn to dust. You're talking about Corrosive Grip.
Oh yeah, Return to Dust. I know you can play it as an instant, but I usually wait for my main phase to get that value.
Yeah.
2 things.
2 things, exile.
It's
Yeah.
like what is it, Rack and Ruin, where it destroys 2 artifacts, but it's enchantment or artifact. It's better.
And it exiles.
Yeah, it's better.
Keyword, exile.
So it hits gods too. So
Yes, it does.
That's a huge thing.
Especially since a lot of people decide to start running gods as generals now.
Yeah, it's big.
I mean, not so big in generals, but I mean, it's another way of removing them, finally.
Yeah,
If you're talking about this earlier, Jared's orders.
that and Grizzly Salvage are basically what you want in the deck. Get what you need, toss what you also need.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead and slide some of these back over here.
Make some room.
Grave Pack. As many times as I'm having things coming in and out of here in this deck, why not make you have suffer from it too?
Now, do you have a lot of sack outlets, or do you have many? Or
Basically, the creatures that have themselves built into them.
okay, all right.
main
Like the
sack
product
outlet.
sliver, yeah.
The main sack outlet I have is Fish Call.
You run Fish Cow.
Can I get
That
mine?
served me like one of the few losses I've had with my Murder Griff deck. That one time I was at your house, we were playing, I was doing perfectly fine, I was doing good, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Oh, boom, you're dead. Fish Call damage. I was like, well, shit. That came out of nowhere.
Yep. Solemn.
Staple.
Staple. Put them in any deck. I mean, there's no problem with them. Getting land, getting the card draw. Plus a decent body.
So is this the guy? That's the guy's actual.
Yeah, that's
the
the
artist.
that's not the artist. That's the guy that won the Grand Prix, I believe, that year, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
They got
I
to,
always thought that was the artist.
they got to design the card. The newest one, I believe, is the Snapcaster Mage.
That's an actual player.
That's an actual player.
That is so dumb looking. Like I think that card. I don't like that artwork. I
If you
really
ever
don't.
happen to get to watch this video, there, guy, it was
I'm
something
sorry,
it wasn't
but
me.
I don't like the art.
He doesn't like your face. That's what
It's
he's trying to
ugly.
say.
You got a weird face, man.
Siege Rhino. Starting to get into a little bit bigger toughness. I can't get him back with my main recursion method, but when I can get everybody to lose 3 life, I gain 3 life and get a decent body out of it for 4.
Why not?
I can't pass it up, especially since usually I'm
Let
playing
it
game.
die.
I'm usually playing games where there's at least 5 people. You figure 12 damage.
Yep.
Why not? It'd be better if I could gain all that life instead, but
So along those lines, what are your thoughts on? What the hell is that? The Gray Merchant of Asphodel.
I like him. I just don't have.
You don't have a high devotion,
I don't have the high enough devotion to do it.
but
That card in a mono black deck, I've seen it be ridiculous.
well, I mean, you usually have probably at least 4 black symbols out, 3 to
Yeah.
4, 3 to 4.
Yeah,
Karador 2 with him.
but I mean, if you're running something else, I think he fits more in a mono black or 2 color deck. Just
Yeah,
because
some
you
of
get a
them where
higher
you're going to have a
chance.
higher.
Because this one, I got the 3 colors. It's just one of those things that have the odd chance of not having much
Gotcha.
hitting for all.
Gotcha.
I love the card. I've seen
Yeah.
it. I've seen it wreak havoc.
I'll say with Karador's ability, just a thought.
Another guy, 0/0, comes into play with counters equal to the number of creatures in all graveyards.
So he's going to be big.
So
Usually.
basically on just mine, he's going to
All
be
graveyards.
a pretty big guy. One of my few win cons in here, Jared.
And he's a sturdy win con. He keeps coming back.
He keeps coming back, and I keep bringing the creatures back for him to fling.
Yeah. That's
I mean, what else?
fling it again, fling it a third time.
And since it's life's lost, not damage,
Yeah.
hard to prevent that.
Yeah.
Demonic Collusion.
That's perfect for this deck.
The only, I can't think of the word now.
Tutor.
There you go.
Only tutor?
The only tutor I'd run in here besides Fauna Shaman, if you count that as a tutor. And
I'd count it.
it's because of the buyback.
It fills your graveyard.
Fills my graveyard, and guess what? Find what I want.
Yep. I love that card. I run that out also in the Necessary deck. Because I do a lot of graveyard stuff with it.
Yep, anything that has graveyard love in black, why not?
Yeah.
Acidic Slime.
Staple.
Staple in green. Destroy whatever, artifact, enchantment, or land. Now, if you're playing Graveyard Love, and you have green, you really should get a hold of a Grave Troll.
It's, again, I mean, you gotta have it. Dredge 6. That's huge.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest dredge one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the biggest dredge
I
there
was
is.
gonna say. And that's what, only like $1, a couple dollars, something like that? It's
Even
cheap.
cheaper than that, because I believe, if I remember right, I think he's banned in Modern. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he's banned. And that's
Who
it.
cares about Modern?
Well, that helps us, because it brings his price down.
Yeah. Who cares about Modern? Gee.
Well, except for Top. Top is the weird circumstance, but that's Legacy and Vintage.
Little knowledge for you.
Drake's Town Forgotten. Another 0/0. Comes into play with number of counters equal to all creature cards in all graveyards.
That's cool. So that's also big.
And he has a little bit of spot removal in there himself for 3. It's a little higher for that, but he's a great sack outlet for Jared.
That is actually nice. Good sack outlet.
Kessig Cage Breakers.
Ends games. He becomes a problem very fast.
Yeah, like I said, I have a few targets in here for Lightning Greaves. There's one of them.
Yeah, he's one. The General's 2.
I mean, if I get this guy out here, my graveyard's usually pretty well full. Swing.
If you can slip him in there, you'll catch somebody off guard, take half their life away in a heartbeat,
and it hurts.
And pull a board wipe out of somebody's hand. You're gonna force that board wipe.
And he'll come back next turn.
Yeah, and then he'll come back, and then you have more creatures in the graveyard.
My main recursion engineer. As I noticed a lot of the creatures I had in here, power less 2 or less. It's because of Reveler.
Yeah, that's very useful actually.
I don't ever cast it for its converted cost. I always evoke it.
You can't evoke it from the graveyard, can you? You can.
Yes.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
Evoke.
That's awesome.
Usually grab Spore Frog, Karmic Guide. You'll see later on. Sun Titan.
Eternal Witness.
E-Witness. There's just so many. Well, I can't get Sun Titan, but with the Karmic Guide, I get Sun Titan.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have a lot of. I can get out about 4 or 5 creatures a turn.
Yeah.
So he's just great.
Very neat. Corpse Connoisseur.
A lot of people don't really look at this guy, give him a second chance.
I like him. I ran that in my mono black deck.
Fills the graveyard for you.
When I was running zombies, I would tutor up whatever I needed at the time. I imagine you would tutor up probably like Grave Troll or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep, I tutor up basically anything with Dredge, depending on what I need. If I need my mana base fixed, then goes left alone. If I need a flying...
Do you run, what's that stupid card, Buried Alive?
No.
You don't?
Nope, it's a one-time shot.
Yeah, I figured you'd probably want more creature-based stuff.
I mean, yeah, this is technically one-time shot, but with my general, it's more than one-time shot.
Yeah.
That's a lot more mana-intensive, I guess, overall, but...
You get more uses, though. And in EDH, again, you're going to pay more mana for bigger stuff.
One of the big targets for Revelark right here. So I got over there, mana no. Revelark, Karmic Guide. You grab Karmic Guide. Karmic Guide goes and grabs you Sun Titan, Grave Titan.
Your big stuff.
My big stuff.
Things Revelark can't get.
You watch them both die next, or Revelark will die that turn.
Yep.
Karmic Guide will die your next upkeep because you're not going to pay
And then
that.
you cast it again. Who cares for Echo?
You don't cast him again.
Nobody pays
cast
for Echo.
Revelark. Cast Revelark again.
Yeah.
Keep the process going.
Nobody pays for Echo. Nobody.
So, I mean, I just use her as a breath of life. It costs 1 more, but it gives me a body for a turn.
Hell yeah. And it's pro black.
So
that could mean a big difference.
The only planeswalker I run.
Why?
Vindicate.
Gotcha.
It is a nice Vindicate.
That's a good reason, I suppose.
Also, if I want, I can get your ultimate pretty quickly and easily.
Have you got it before?
I have gotten it before.
I've never seen...
I've never gotten the tokens through, but I got the ultimate off.
That's a different story, but I hardly ever see anybody run Vraska. I don't really care for her, but...
The Vindicate is the main thing.
That's impressive to me.
With my 2 fog effect creatures,
I
can keep her alive.
Yeah, I suppose you're right on that. Yeah.
So, I mean, but like I said, I've never gotten through with one of the tokens.
Deadbridge Chan, that's a good choice.
Milten.
Get something back.
It's random.
Yeah, hey,
but
still.
You know what? I don't care what I get back.
That's a free card. That's like a card draw almost.
Because most of the time I'm dredging into my graveyard.
Isn't it a creature? You get a creature card back at random, right?
If it's a creature, it's on the battlefield. Otherwise, it goes to my hand. So I don't care what it is. It's more likely going to be
So it
beneficial
puts
to
a
me.
creature from your graveyard directly into play.
Yeah.
It's random. That's awesome. When your deck is almost a clean half creature, you're gonna hit creatures.
More than likely.
Yeah, you're gonna hit creatures.
So
That's awesome.
I like it. Took me a while to find someone that wanted to part with one too. It's weird.
Sun Titan.
I said one of the great targets for my Karma guy. Get my Sun Titan back. He can grab a bunch of other creatures back.
How many cards do you have that are converted mana cost 3 or less? A shit ton.
Yeah. Let's say if you want.
A metric shit ton.
Here we go. Let's take a second here. 3 or less. Now this is not counting the 31 lands, but
That's a lot.
you got a pretty decent
That's
thick
a
stack
lot.
there.
That's plenty of targets.
So, yeah, he works overtime sometimes.
Yeah, he puts in work. That's for show.
Another Born Phalanx. It's kind of a weird choice,
I like it though.
but if someone's getting out of hand, use him.
What 6 drops do you transmute for if you transmute?
Sun Titan.
Is that the only one?
Basically, he's in there for Sun Titan.
That's hilarious. Hey, that's
and
a good choice.
My Deadwood Chant.
All right, yeah, that's good.
I mean, it just depends on the mode.
And he's got a 2 power for Reveler.
Yep. Or he can go and get a couple cards down there with a Massacre Worm.
That catches people off guard too. Not a lot of people run Massacre Worm, surprisingly.
So, I mean,
And if you wait for somebody to have too many tokens, it can out of nowhere kill them.
one of my anti-mill dread cards. I don't want him in my hand ever.
Good old Dread.
I mean,
Worst case scenario, you find a way to dump him.
Exactly, which should be pretty easy in this deck.
Right.
Massacre Worm. We were just talking about him.
Massacres things. He's a worm.
6 drop. Go transmute for him. Don't usually transmute too much, but
And not only does he give things -2/-2 when he enters battlefield, but that second ability stays.
stays. Yep.
So if I have him, you lose a creature, you lose 2 life.
Yep.
That's
And
for everybody at
with
all
as many
times.
board wipes other people run usually in EDH,
Blocking,
That-
attacking. I mean,
it's going to hurt.
you got a lot of small creatures. People find out what you're doing. They'll come at you. You block. They lose life. You play your shit out again with Karador. They
Exactly.
lose more life. I mean,
It's a vicious cycle.
it is.
Grave Titan.
He can single-handedly take over a game if left unchecked.
Exactly. He's just a big body with 2 smaller bodies.
Oh yeah.
Now, here's my only board wipe, per se, in the deck.
That's an interesting choice. Why that choice?
Keep Karador out for one if I don't have, don't feel like having to pay for him again. But basically,
Well, I mean, he's the only one you really need out.
yeah, but sometimes I like to just keep something else out there if I need to.
Yeah,
Like, say,
you could play him again, no problem.
Yeah.
If you're half your deck's creatures and they're in the
but
graveyard.
I mean, I just thought it was something different for once. I got tired of seeing the same Wrath of God. You keep seeing Damnations. You keep seeing Terminus.
stuff.
You see the same stuff. Something different. I mean, yeah, it's a little more mana intensive, but
It's less conventional.
I don't need to worry about board wipe so much.
Yeah. I like that. I like your thinking.
Someone sees you tap 7 mana, they're thinking, here comes a big creature bomb. They're not thinking, here comes a board wipe that's going to screw me over.
Right. It's going to screw everybody but that one creature, like Grave Titan and his
It loses
stomach children.
stomach children.
He spits orphans out of his stomach.
I think I see Timmy.
Timmy.
Here's your favorite, buddy.
Vish Cow. Son of a
Let's see.
bitch.
This year's a nice little combo.
Yeah, that
If
is
he's
a
out
nice
there,
combo.
I'll sack everything to Vish Call.
Make him huge.
Doom Blast.
And then kill somebody.
Keep Vish Call. He kills somebody. No problem.
I mean, it was out of nowhere. I was doing good. Like, I can't complain. Like, it's not like I got screwed, okay? I was doing good. I had good cards in hand. I was working towards some good stuff to set me in a good position. And then he just pretty much comboed out with a bunch of sacking stuff, made him huge, and just, well, I'm going to attack you. It's like, what? Damn it!
The only thing that bothers me about his artwork is he looks like he needs a beer can in his hand.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
I mean, he's just sitting there chilling.
If I could alter artwork like with like paint or whatever, I would totally edit one in there.
He's just sitting there chilling on his throne. He needs a beer. He's had a hard day.
Hey, it's not easy being
It's not easy
vampire.
being cheesy.
Yeah, it's not easy being cheesy.
Angel Despair. Now I know.
Awesome.
I believe it was Logan that was talking about it to remove it and replace it with the Archon. I run them both.
I like them both.
This one Spot removal, yeah, it only destroys, which is against why I've been saying this whole time about exiling. But sometimes you just need to get rid of something.
It's a permanent though. It's flexible.
Exactly.
It'll hit anything.
Exactly.
Let it die. I'll play it again.
Teysa.
That's an interesting choice.
Protection.
Protection.
She has protection from creatures. If you pit me with something,
I
you're
get
getting one time out of it.
Yeah. People don't attack you after that. It's like no mercy. Except you get a 1/1 flyer after that.
Yeah, and I have a 4/4 that's going to hit them.
They're not going to block it.
Well, they can.
You can block it. Yeah.
So.
And she's got vigilance.
Yeah. So I figure that's a good body.
You know, people give her shit. I like her. I would run it as a general.
I would, except for her cost.
You're right. The cost is high.
And I did originally have a Teysa, the old Teysa. I can't remember what her title was at the time.
Something or another, yeah.
But I ran her over that one, just because for 3 mana you got her out, and I felt her abilities were a bit more oomph behind them.
Yeah, with tokens, I mean, you can get a good engine going.
But her herself, I love the card. I mean, I would like it as a general, but 7 mana for a general, I try to shy away from.
Yeah.
And the last card we have here is the Ashen Rider.
I didn't realize until like months after I had the card that said also when it dies.
Oh yeah, 2 removals for 8 mana.
I had no idea. Like, I thought it was just when it enters the battlefield, and I like only read that and stopped after that. It's like, wait, and when it dies? Holy shit.
2 uses.
Yeah, 2 uses. It's amazing.
So I mean, there you go. That's basics of my Karador deck.
Karador.